All right, we're heading down into the losers bracket. This is the losers bracket semifinals, so the winner of this round has a chance to win the losers bracket and head up into the finals. We'll see. So we have Rain versus BuRny. We did watch some games of both of these players in the past. The BuRny matches were crazy against Winter StarCraft. So let's see who these players decide to random as. You do have to random your first 2 matches, and then the third match you can choose if you make it to a game 3. Rain, choosing between Dominion and Nerazim, gets Nerazim in the bottom left. Oh, Nerazim v. Nerazim, interesting. This is a ladder game, look at that. Again, there is a ladder client for HeptaCraft. And this is it, be sure to run the HeptaCraft ladder client. It's just a light client that Summerloud has made. So if you're interested in HeptaCraft, give it a shot, try it. If you like it, you should definitely play on the ladder. That's how this builds popularity. We get more and more of this. So we're going to keep an eye on how both these players decide to play. Maybe we'll see one go Adepts, one go Stalkers, one go Drops with Dark Templar. Who knows? Or both players will play the same way. It's a mirror matchup. Who knows? But the best thing about HeptaCraft is how diverse it is. Because there's so many different ways to play, and there isn't necessarily a particular way to counter those things that's been figured out just yet. So just the way that you can have multiple strategies, even in a mirror matchup, is excellent. I mean, yeah, you can have multiple strategies in a TVT vanilla, sure, but generally they're strategies you've seen many times before. HeptaCraft is new, it's fresh, and there's so many different factions that you're almost always going to see something new and different, which I like a lot. All right, we have BuRny coming out and scouting. No scout out from Rain yet. Am I getting these players mixed out? No. BuRny is not scouting, Rain is scouting. Oh, this is going to be confusing. Oh, this is going to be so confusing. All right, Rain is peach. Rain is pink. Rain is pretty and pink. BuRny, red. All right, got to get this down. BuRny usually plays red, I think, so I should keep that in mind. Okay. BuRny in the bottom left, Rain in the upper right. So Rain sending a scout out. Also, possibly keeping a probe up here to either check for some hidden bases or dropping a pylon because he wants to get that Cybercore upgrade, which allows him to make pylons anywhere on the map as opposed to being restricted. Because, again, if you can get some good harassment units out, you can't warp them in close enough until you get that upgrade. We do have Rain sending in one Fnatic into the mineral line of BuRny. BuRny warping in now his own Fnatic to defend against this. One probe goes down. Fnatic trying to run away. Fanatics, compared to normal Zealots, they move faster and attack faster, but have a lower attack damage, and they lack that normal +1 armor that you see, and less health, but not by much. So Rain deciding it's time to get out of dodge, being chased away by BuRny's Fnatic. And they're attacking each other. It looked like Rain actually had the mild advantage there, but I could only assume BuRny would have run away if his Fnatic got low enough. It looks like they're just chasing each other in circles, but one Stalker out from BuRny, going to be able to probably get rid of this Fnatic from Rain. So Rain deciding to take that Fnatic in, running around to see everything that he can see before dying there. Might actually get a probe before it goes down. Nope, down it goes. There's that Stalker. One kill initiate. I feel like it's the same Stalker from the last game. You'll get there, buddy. You just keep trying. You just keep trying. We do have an expansion going down from BuRny before an expansion from Rain. But Rain going fast Phoenix. We actually saw him do this against Scaphism when Scaphism was playing Covenant. And the only reason I think that it didn't work was because Scaphism was able to make those massive hybrid Reavers. And I'm not saying massive in a hyperbolic sense. I mean, they are literally a massive type of unit, and that can't be lifted by Phoenix. So rather than expanding, we've got some one-base Stargate play by Rain. We do have a Fnatic trying to get up the ramp here, going to get chased away, getting lifted. Well, looks like the cat's out of the bag. BuRny definitely knows that there are Phoenix on the field. These two Stalkers going to come out and try to get rid of this Fnatic and try to maybe get rid of this Stalker. It's been lifted, and it probably is going to be enough to get rid of it. There it goes. So, not really many workers killed at all, but we do have both players having a general idea of what the other is doing. The big difference at this point between the two players is that Rain not expanded yet, because again, he's doing that real fast Stalker Phoenix play. What's he going to do with these Phoenix, though? Is he going to make more than 2? Who knows? We're going to find out. It looks like Rain is getting that Warp Pylons upgrade. This is why this probe is here. I can only assume no Warp Pylons out from BuRny, I don't think, unless he got it already. He did not. So BuRny going Robotech, it looks like. Robo Warp Gates, whereas Rain, with that one base Phoenix play, he did get 1 kill there. He's scouted out the second base, probably realizes, oh shit, I need to expand now too, because BuRny while it's not saturated yet, does have a completed second base. And here are 3 Phoenix now. Going to try to pick up one of these Stalkers before the other one can really do anything. Not enough energy to pick up the other one, but almost enough on this one. But it is the one with the lowest health, so it could get picked off by Stalkers. So again, we have a mirror matchup, but both players seemingly doing different things. There's Rain's second base. You can tell he delayed building anything else until he could get that, but he does have warp pylons coming in, which may allow him to put some serious pressure on BuRny. And how are we doing on these Phoenix right here? Did one Phoenix get wiped out? Rain actually killing 4 workers there, and then a decent amount of units just with those Phoenix, really keeping the pressure on with those Phoenix. Anytime you see air harassment from your opponent, it really, for me at least, it always makes me scared to leave my base. And I think that's kind of the general idea at this point in the game. So leaving the Stalkers in the mineral line, he's lifting probes. He's taking hits from the Stalkers, but he knows that he can get a few workers. Even going to be able to get rid of some of those Stalkers. I can only imagine BuRny. If I was BuRny, I would be so upset. I hate this type of play. It's very effective. It says, you know, I'm just a baby about it. So there's 5 Phoenix, 6 Phoenix coming across the map. Since the Nerazim warp in their units, it's hard to keep track of what units they're building. We do have +1 coming out from BuRny, +1 ground, which will help his Stalkers get rid of these Phoenix a little bit faster. And picking up, look like probably 3 workers down from BuRny's expansion. BuRny trying to get out more Stalkers, going to get Blink as well. That's going to help immensely. 9 workers killed by those Phoenix. I mean, how many Phoenix are there, though? Again, there were like 6 or 7. 6 Phoenix for how many workers killed? 9. That's an expensive investment for that amount of worker harass, but these Phoenix will continue to be useful as the game continues. 7 Phoenix coming out. Rain's base is just completed right now, and he keeps going in, killing 1 or 2 workers when he has energy, and then dipping out. Going in, dipping out, going in, dipping out. Now, finally, a cannon going down for BuRny that should keep those Phoenix away. Maybe. We'll see. It seemed like even though those Stalkers were kept in the mineral lines here, it really did not stop Rain from running with those Phoenix. When you have 7 of them, you might even lose just 1 of them, but it doesn't really matter. 1 Oracle getting picked off there. That's some big scouting. Map hacks. That's some big scouting for Rain. Yeah, Rain somehow seeing that Oracle was up there. I was saying he saw it with his probe. Oh, that's right, he does. He still has this probe up here, and he's got the warp pylon warping in more Phoenix. Heavy Phoenix. And he's telling his opponent that he's proxied so that he can defend himself against hacking allegations, map hacking allegations. I just realized these plasma cannons. What the hell is this? What is this? I've never seen this. Those attack very fast. 8 damage, 0.29 weapon speed. I did not even know that existed. Cool. So I assume you can't make photon cannons? That's real neat. Well, those seem pretty good. So now we've got how many Stalkers here? 9 Stalkers. Probably will be able to handle this amount of Phoenix, but the question is, if the Phoenix are going to keep using their energy and getting probes, they won't have the energy to pick up the Stalkers. The thing is, it's an interesting balance, because you want to kind of bait the Phoenix into sticking around to get killed. Because they'll just run away if they can't take you in a straight-up fight. So here come the Stalkers, and trying to take out as many as they can. That +1 seems like it's quite effective, but wow, those Phoenix did have enough energy. I really didn't expect them to, and Rain wiping out all of those Stalkers. I did not expect that to happen. Yike, Arunskis. Income looks near even for both players. 44 Harvesters to 40 is pretty good, considering... wow, 19 workers killed by Rain. So BuRny's had to sink a lot of money into replacing those Harvesters, unfortunately. So let's check. Units lost. Significantly ahead for Rain here, just because all those Stalkers got lifted up at minimal loss to the Phoenix. We have 1 Fanatic by BuRny just kind of running around trying to find things. He's moving out with his Stalkers as the Phoenix are coming into his main base. Will his Plasma Cannon be enough? Something tells me that Rain doesn't care. He's just going to kill as much stuff as possible. He is just annihilating BuRny's workers. This amount of Phoenix, I mean, there's no way you could say that's overpowered. That's how Phoenix function in normal StarCraft. They're the same. The difference is that these do full damage against everything. 8 damage against light, armored, what have you. But workers are still light, so even if this was vanilla, this would be functioning sort of the same. Trying to shoot them away with Stalkers, I can't really think of a different thing besides getting Phoenix of your own. Fleet Beacon going for Tempests. Interesting. We have not seen Tempests before. I have no idea what they do in HeptaCraft. This is like some of this late game tech I've never seen before. Rain throwing down his 3rd base at the gold base. We'll see if BuRny can find this, because BuRny is not going for air units. Rain, on the other hand, does. If BuRny was the one with the Phoenix, I'd be, he would be more hesitant to drop this Nexus here, knowing that his opponent could easily find him. Trying to pick up just tracking down those workers. Here comes the Stalker, seeing if they can catch out some of these Phoenix. One Phoenix goes down, two Phoenix goes down, almost three that blinked, certainly seeming worthwhile chasing around those Phoenix. How many are left? 7 Phoenix left. Rain, though, transitioning into more of a Stalker composition and eventually going to be able to get those Tempests. Oracles do not have their attack. They're mostly just scouting and for stasis wards. Revelation is great too, obviously, if you need it. Neither player with Dark Templar. Now, some people have asked, why Phoenix over Corsairs? Corsairs are in the past, the Corsairs have always been Dark Templar, Phoenix, or Kali. But just for the way that the units are played. Ooh, look at that. Look at that stasis ward right there being used quite effectively. The way that the game is played with kind of a hit-and-run tactic, Phoenix are much better in terms of how Nerazim play in this matchup. So I think moving Phoenix to Nerazim was the right choice, and Kali, I believe, have Corsairs. These 5 Stalkers might go down. No blink from Rain, so he can't get down there. And we do have a Tempest here. Tempests look like Tempests as we've seen them in the past. 60 damage straight up. No disintegration or anything like that. And BuRny trying to push through with just straight Stalkers. If he gets rid of these pylons, if he depowers some of these buildings, or if he can snipe the Cyber Core. Now we've got all of these Phoenix here. They're going to try to get in here and start wiping these out. Blinking away just in time before too much stuff gets lifted. This Tempest still just pushing away. BuRny reinforcing heavily with Stalkers. He has 4 bases, so he's able to maintain constantly reinforcing right here. He also got the Warp Pylons upgrade. And BuRny able to push up this ramp. He does get up the ramp, and Rain trying to hold on. He has 2 Tempests now. We'll see if they're able to hold on. Only 1 Phoenix here, able to lift maybe 1 Stalker. Actually, exactly only 1 Stalker. These Tempests trying to do the best they can, but BuRny being very aggressive with these Stalkers. He's trying to push in. I don't know if Rain will be able to warp in enough stuff. Both players floating a lot of money. I was actually about to say he's got a lot of minerals. Maybe he should just try to warp in a bunch of Fanatics, but still they're going to get killed by this amount of Stalkers. These Stalkers caught behind the mineral lines, but more Stalkers coming in. Going to take out this 1 Tempest, but at what cost? 1 Stalker goes down. 2nd Tempest goes down. Plasma Launcher, Plasma Cannon going down in the mineral line, and we do have an Annihilator out, but the Blink brings them over. The Stalkers were stuck. That Annihilator could have done a lot of damage, but the Blink working heavily in BuRny's advantage as he's able to blink on top of it. More Stalkers coming in as BuRny just being relentless with this attack. Double blink, that's right. So I think you have to research double blink. It's an extra upgrade, but you can see you can store 2 charges of blink. That's very neat. I suppose you could consider that it's busted. I think it looks like I noticed that BuRny spent some Terrazine. I can only assume that that's a Terrazine upgrade. So you do have to be judicial with your Terrazine. And Rain not spending any Terrazine.